Thanks for the support as a channel member, Chris Spencer. Well, I think that was a really, really good transfer window, which incidentally is still ongoing and we've still got money to spend, so there might be more business done yet. But the real test of how good it was is playing Manchester United in our first game in the Premier League in the FM26 version of Non-League to Legend. Lovely, lovely stuff. And of course, it is always worth taking this with a pinch of salt because we have got some very big games coming up in our first few weeks. Man United, Liverpool and Newcastle all have to be dealt with in our first 4 matches. And of course, it is a very new look team that is going to take a little while to develop any kind of team cohesion. Tyler Tingy wants a new deal. Well, why have I let that faff about? Yeah, let's give you, you'll play in midfield. You probably won't play in midfield. You're a defender now. To be fair, Tyler, you probably won't play at all. You're not having that. Yeah, everything. There you go. That's a contract negotiation. Oh, you want more money? Lovely. There you go. We can give him a relegation release clause because we're not getting relegated. If we are, I'll leave, so it won't be my issue. Right. This is the team that we're going to put out there to face Manchester United, possibly a little controversially because we are going with new club captain Rob Harley at centre forward, a position he's never really thrived in, but we do have the option to shuffle around our new front three if we need to as the game goes on, because we've got Charlie Fordham, who is a striker, but largely plays out wide, I hope, judging by his goal return from Watford in the Premier League last year, 8 goals, but lots of good performances. So he's going to start on the left-hand side, but could play centre forward. We've also got Jake Evans, who was playing for Leicester in the Premier League last year. He can also naturally play centre forward. So if it doesn't work in this shape, we can shuffle them around. Rob Harley's only natural at centre forward. So I think it makes sense to try in there first. And if it doesn't work, we can try either of those two. Or we've got Higgins down on the bench. We've got Tyjon down on the bench. We've got plenty of attacking options. All eyes should be on new boy Artem Koklov, who's only 18 years old, but he's already one of the best players at the club. He is one of several proper wonder kids that we've got now, and potentially even a bigger talent than Rob Harley when he came in. And yeah, I think we've got there's another one of our wonder kids. He gets to start. And we've got another wonder kid down on the bench as well, somewhere. Where is he? There he is. He's also a wonder kid. So we have lots of wonder kids and some decent experience that's coming as well. So the new look team is new goalkeeper Restes in goal, who I think is finally a goalkeeper we can stick with for a little while. We shouldn't need to replace him until he's too old to play for us anymore. We've then got a back four of Rivad, who keeps his spot for now because he's tall, but might end up getting replaced by our new left back who we signed, whose name I can't remember. Which one is the new left back? No. Where is he? There he is, Halili, who's not even on the bench today. So Rivad will be fine for now. We've also got new boy Silla at centre-back alongside Tingy, who does drop back into the back four, having spent most of last season in midfield. There is no room for him in midfield anymore. There's no room for Arthur Vermeeren in midfield. That's how much our midfield is upgraded. We've got new boy Angeli at right back, and then Vujicic alongside Nzita as a potential new double pivot for us. So like I say, we have got Vermeeren who's come in as well, who probably will like the look of that spot. And then, as you've seen from the front four, it's Fordham, Koklov and Evans behind Harley up front, but very much with the option to shuffle that pack if said pack looks like it needs shuffling. But my hope is, Rob Harley is a natural striker. So I hope it's just one of those situations where he's, as a teenager, he kind of breaks into the team playing in whatever position we can fit him in at. But he is now unquestionably the best player at the club. He's the club captain. He turns 21 this year. I expect him to be in the next England squad. Now we're in the Premier League. I think he is going to develop into a top player. You've got clubs like Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, all interested in signing him. It's time he started playing as striker. We need to give him a run of games playing as the striker and see how he gets on, and possibly with some players around him who are more at his level. Koklov in behind him, who rather than being a shadow striker like we had with Tyjon, who would be very much about those late runs into the box and scoring goals as well. Koklov is there as a playmaker. His job is to create chances for the other three. So if you've got Rob Harley, who's quick and good at making those runs that he makes off the wing, with Cockloff behind him playing through balls, that could be an incredible partnership where they're both under 21 and could develop and be part of Blackburn for the next 10 years if the club advances as quickly as they do. So that's the dream. And then we're just kind of fitting everyone else around them. But it might take a little while for us to force the dream to happen because they are both very young. Cocklove's making his debut, his first game in English football, and doesn't speak the language. So I don't expect him to necessarily come straight in and look like the best player the Premier League has ever seen. But hopefully, given time, and we definitely will give him time. Now I'm an expert in youth development, as I've shown with Harley. He's going to be super duper. United, do get in behind us. Ahmad was offside, though. There was never any fear there. It remains 0-0 as we hit the half-hour point. And I imagine the Blackburn fans will be quite keen to get one over on Manchester United. Now we are back in the Premier League. It's a team that, obviously, they're just down the road. And I imagine it's quite frustrating being a Blackburn fan, seeing a team like Manchester United being so successful just down the road. There is one of those runs from Harley. I wonder if because he's had to run through the middle, he's been a bit crowded out there, or if it's just Premier League things. That's what I'm talking about with Cockloff. Gets in behind, looks for the pass for Harley, and there's Jake Evans, who scored on his debut, and he's doing a little dance. So Fordham and Evans have linked up there. We saw Cockloff and Harley try and link up. It didn't work out for them, but Fordham gets the ball out wide, crosses over. I mean, there's plenty of options in the box. The one it lands on, after eluding everybody, is Evans, and that took a huge deflection to take it past the goalkeeper, but I don't care how they go in. As long as they go in, it's Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0. We have returned to the Premier League, and we are not the same team that got relegated 3 years ago. We are here to do some business. We've got business to attend to. We want to be the Blackburn of the mid-90s again. We're here to win the Premier League. And maybe not this season, but, you know, I genuinely think we might not have to go and find another club in non-league to legend this year, because I think Blackburn are probably a big enough club with enough backing and some very talented youngsters that we could potentially go all the way with Blackburn. That being said, of course, if we do get a big offer from a massive club who offer me loads of money, the rules are the rules. We follow the money. Blackburn are going to have to throw cash at me the way I've been throwing cash at some of these players. If they want me to stick around forever. But they did give me a new contract in the summer. I'm on £27,000 a week now, which is not to be sniffed at. I would reluctantly accept that in real life. What's that? Over £1 million a year. I could probably buy an even fancier house with an even fancier swimming pool, but I just don't think I need to. Rob Harley going all the way back there to take the free kick, which is potentially a reason why he shouldn't be playing as our lone striker if he's going to be taking the set pieces as well. But Fordham and Rivad trying to combine. Fordham gets it back again, and he's turned the opposite way to what the defender was expecting. Found himself some space, looks to drive it across goal again. Fordham definitely looks like my kind of winger. He's very direct. Good runner, and he's looking to just drive that ball across the penalty area. Rob Harley, it's not really worked out for him today. I don't really want to stick one of the other two up front because I like the way they're playing out wide. So I think what we actually do is bring on Higgins. And obviously he's not going to play that role. Higgins is going to come on and do what he normally does. We need to set some personalised instructions up here, I think. I think that's what we had Higgins doing before. I'll have to dig out the videos and work out what we were doing with him previously. But it'll be interesting to see how Higgins plays without Tyjon behind him. Although I'm saying that, and now I'm thinking maybe we do just see he's already got a personalised instruction. We go back to what we know works in that position. Rivad, we knew going in we didn't have another left back on the bench. I don't know why I've even looked there. I kind of want to get Vermeeren on actually. So we're going to bring Vermeeren on for Nzita, give him his debut, just because it's some extra experience for us to have there in midfield, which is always going to be handy. And I think it's nice to give Tyjon and Higgins a little bit of a run out. I think my plan is to play the Leicester game that's next off camera, and then we'll show you the Liverpool game as well. So you get two super interesting games to start things off. Stojanovic comes on at right back. And then for my final change, what have we got down here? We've got Farah, who probably deserves a run out. Costello was obviously a big part of getting us here. But no, I think we'll bring Farah on. Farah can have 10 minutes just because he's so quick, and he did force his way into this team back end of last season. Poor old Wang is kind of the forgotten man because Farah's already moved past him in the pecking order, and now we've got New Boy in. I suspect we've seen the end of Wang for the time being. Right, Stojanovic to Evans, Tyjon, now Vujicic, back to Evans again. This is some lovely football. Can we find the cross? We cannot, but Tyjon just picks up the loose ball and he grabs our second. He's another one, of course, who is a veteran from the last time Blackburn were in the Premier League, so he's not new to this level, but didn't have the best of times when he was playing at this level before. Similar to Higgins, there were two players who did labour a little bit, struggled a little bit in a poor Blackburn team that ultimately got relegated. But it's several years later. Tyjon's had multiple seasons of scoring lots of goals, and it looks like he means to carry that on back in the Premier League this time around. It's 2-0. What a way to announce myself into the Premier League. Be warned, everybody. Kev's here. Well, we brought Higgins back into the team against Leicester, and it turns out he's ready for the Premier League too. He scored a hat-trick as part of a 5-0 win, so he gets to keep his spot for the game against Liverpool. It does mean Evans misses out, but we've got a lot of very good options in that attack. We've got a lot of very good options throughout the team. And just to add another option, we've signed another striker, Petar Ratkov. I just wanted another type of striker, so he's just a 6'4", big aerial threat. He's very different to everything else we've currently got. I don't expect to start him ever. He's the kind of player we'll just throw on if we're chasing a goal and we want to stick a second striker on. I figure he could play alongside Higgins. He could play alongside Harley, just as a big target man. So I think we've got enough money to be able to be a little bit luxurious and have a player like that for situations where he might be needed. Let's just whack that down there. There you go. And the money is now pretty much gone, although Rabaj has just asked for a transfer, which is fair enough because he is well down the pecking order now. But this is the team for Liverpool. It's Restes in goal, a back four of Raivad, Silla, Tingy and Angeli, Vujicic and Nzita in midfield, Fordham, Koklov and Harley back out on the right wing with Higgins up front. Harley was much better in the game against Leicester, playing off of that right-hand side where he's been so used to playing. Of course, it was Leicester. It wasn't, and we were kind of forced into doing it against Leicester because Evans is on loan from Leicester, so he couldn't play against them. So it was an easy decision to bring Higgins in and move Harley out there for that game. And now, because even though Evans scored against Manchester United, he now can't get back in because of what Higgins did when he came in, and we can't exactly drop Rob Harley, can we? So yeah, this is why you shouldn't come on loan from places. He might never force his way back into the team as a starter. Now, the silly goose, or we might get absolutely walloped here today and have to rethink things. Because looking at Higgins' record when Blackburn were in the Premier League before, I just feel like he's probably not going to score against the bigger teams like Liverpool. I think it probably is a step beyond him. But certainly in the first half of the season, if FM26 works the way all the previous FMs are, and we're yet to discover this, but what you often find when you are newly promoted in all the previous FMs is your first 6 months in the Premier League, none of the teams take you seriously. They all put rotated teams out against you, which allows you to have that really good start to your first season in the Premier League. And then second half of the season, because you're then in the top half of the table, everyone batters you. So, oh good, we're in a world of VAR now. Oh, I've really, that's been one thing that's been really missing from this series. A lovely bit of VAR. Who's offside there then? I mean, Nzita from the Higgins header, but that's not where they've paused the play to have a look. Well, that was annoying. That would have been given in the Championship. Hideous. I think we should have an option whether or not we have VAR turned on or not. I mean, I know it's a simulation game, blah, 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 but it takes forever in FM, just like it does in real life. It should at least just be instant. I don't need to be messing around with all of that nonsense on the screen. I forget how disruptive and annoying it is until you don't have it for a long time and then it's back. Right, Rob Harley's picked up a knock, so Looks like Evans is going to get back in the team a little bit earlier than planned because he's probably going to be coming on at half-time because we can't risk properly injuring our best player. That's got to be offside, surely. Ref, are we giving that as an offside? Or are we just letting that happen? Apparently we're just letting that happen. Right. Harley is going to come off because he's injured and we don't want to break him. So Evans can come on for him. And that's him back in the team. There you go. He had to do 45 minutes of penance for being on loan from Leicester while we absolutely walloped them. Admittedly, Higgins isn't exactly setting the world alight either, so Harley might be back up front in the next game because we may as well just have the one guy labouring a little bit, i.e. Harley, who we're trying to push on to become a world superstar, because we saw Evans and Fordham play really well against Manchester United. So they probably, in the bigger games against the bigger team, have probably earned a spot more than either Higgins or Harley have. That's a good long throw from Higgins, though. Unfortunately, doesn't find a Blackburn player, but good to know that he's got that in his arsenal. Now Koklov, who we've not seen a huge amount from yet. Angeli to Evans and now Tingy. This is some nice football. Look at that. Tingy stepped up out of the back four, got himself involved in Evans, nearly scored again. Fordham now looking for that nice direct drilled pass across goal. Wins us a corner. But yeah, it's nice to see Tiggy stepping up. But, I mean, potentially with Tingy, I mean, how am I going to get this fancy first season in the Premier League as a newly promoted team? Tingy could do like whatever they call libero now, the advanced centre-back role, because we've got Angeli, who just wants to be a full-back, not a wing-back. We've got Ryvad, who's already an inverted full-back. None of the back four are really getting involved going forward, but Tingy's obviously spent a year playing in midfield. He could be the guy who steps up a little bit more often, as we just saw him do. I don't know that today's the day to experiment with that, but it's something to think about. Right, we're going to take off Koklov and bring on Tyjon again, who obviously made that impact against Manchester United. And then, I guess, a little bit earlier than advertised, we are going to get Ratkov on because Higgins has been rubbish. So he can play as a centre forward. Yeah, we'll just leave him playing the exact same role Higgins was playing. And there you go. We're got slightly different options. We like having options. Let's see if being a little bit of a big man, see if that can make the breakthrough against Liverpool. We went into this game top of the Premier League. This is the first time we've looked a bit rubbish, but I guess Liverpool, quite a good team. Vermeeren is coming on as well. And then we're also going to bring on Farah for Fordham. And we've now completely changed the front four and brought on Arthur Vermeeren. I suspect that's going to be quite a common group of substitutions, certainly in games where we're struggling to make the breakthrough. But, I mean, a draw against Liverpool, if you'd have offered me at the start of this episode being undefeated at the end of it, I think I'd probably take that. Bournemouth and Aston Villa are drawing 4-4, which is, I suspect they're more likely to be first match on Match of the Day than we are. But yeah, I guess we probably take that. If we have a look at the season preview, it will give us an idea of how good Liverpool are in the future, but they could be defending champions for all we know. Let's have a look at the Premier League. And yeah, I mean, can we look at the preview? Liverpool are one of the best teams in the league and they weren't able to beat us. So I think they are bottom of the Premier League currently. But in general, Liverpool labour to draw. We were labouring more than they were. Rob Harley will be back for the next game, though. And because it's our first season in the Premier League, I think we are probably going to take our time a bit more this season than we have done previously, and maybe come back around here somewhere. Probably showing you Bournemouth, who came up with us, and either Arsenal or Man City, depending on who's highest in the table when the time comes, because that'll give us a nice bit of contrast for the next episode. But if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.